Talking with Tom. Turn your dial to cable 18. You will see the best in TV. Just talking with Tom. Just talking with Tom. Sit back and listen. You will hear the best conversation of the year. Just talking with Tom. Just talking with Tom. Just talking with Tom. Just talking with Tom.
Welcome to Talking with Tom. I'm Tom Dacey alongside Ed McCarver. Good evening, Edward.
Hello, Tommy. How are you tonight?
Good. Start of a new year.
Yeah, our first show for the 2016 season. These many years we're still together, and it's great to be back here.
You know, this is year 22, and, you know, I think winter has finally arrived for us after getting spoiled for so long.
We were spoiled by the warm temperatures we had in December. I think we had the holiday stroll that we did on December 5th. I think it was 54 degrees. What is it now? It's not even half that, not even a third that, I don't think, tonight.
I mean, who would have thought? 70 degrees on Christmas?
Yeah, unbelievable. You know, my sister came up from Florida to visit for Christmas, and she was surprised at how balmy it was. I think she may want to move back until she sees what the weather is like this week.
I mean, you know, like I said, we got spoiled for so long. Now it's like we're almost in a deep freeze now.
Yep, but still no snow.
No, and
no precipitation.
You know, I was getting nervous with that, you know, with this weather. I'm thinking, geez, last year we did our anniversary show the middle of May.
Because of the snow, that's right.
Because of that lovely winter we had last year. I mean, every time I scheduled the show, we got another storm, and
I remember, of course, I remember Drew living up in Boston, my son, and I think they had 100 inches of snow, and I think they had snow drifts, I think, until June or July. It was just amazing. Let's hope that doesn't repeat itself.
I mean, you know, it was what, in the middle of May by the time we did the anniversary show.
Yeah, I mean, our season was half over when we had our anniversary show. But this year, right on schedule, the first show of the new season. As we tape this, it's January 5th, and we're hitting the ground running for this new year.
And if I can for a moment, I just want to wish a happy birthday today to our dear friend and former director of Talking with Tom, Eric Schrader.
I did see that, Eric Schrader, who now resides on the West Coast. A very happy birthday to Eric. Had many good years here at WPAA, helping originally John and I out with Wednesday Night Live, and then carved a very nice career for himself. And happy birthday, Eric.
Happy birthday, Eric. Enjoy. But what do you say we get started with our stroll down memory lane?
Yep, this is our anniversary show, clips we've had from our last, from the year 2015, and I know we've got plenty of clips, so take it away.
Okay, and this first clip, this is a clip from our anniversary show that we did the middle of May down at American Steamed Cheeseburgers, and in this clip, you're going to see my dear friend, Jerry Christopher, who is now the morning man at WJMJ, and a special appearance by Mayor William Dickinson. But in this clip, you'll see how I turn the tables on Jerry Christopher a little bit. So let's go to that clip. You know, I have to say that when I started this 21 years ago, I never envisioned that it would last this long. No comment. No comments from the peanut gallery over there. Called The Game with No Name.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that a little bit?
Well, The Game with No Name is a contest I came up with that I just didn't have a name for.
Yes, and want to tell a brief story about somebody who you called Smarty Pants?
Yeah, well, as we say, we give what we call clues to use to figure out the answer to The Game with No Name. And all of a sudden I get this Facebook message from someone who I won't mention who's guessing. And I said, no, you don't. You know, you don't call, you don't email, you don't fax, you don't text, you don't tweet, and you don't personal message on Facebook, Mr. Smarty Pants. So.
Well, I have a surprise for you this evening. And I'm going to ask the studio audience, if you know the answer to this, don't shout it out. This is a special one for Jerry. I have my own version of the game.
Oh,
with no
okay,
name.
okay.
Are you ready?
All right, yep. So you have clues to use, and as you figure out the clues individually, then you get the answer to the game with no name. It's like to the tune of A Horse with No Name. I can't sing, you might have figured that out.
Clue number 1.
Clue number 1, here we go.
Blank, white, and blue.
Got it. Oh, red.
Clue number 2. Clothing item paired with shoes.
Well, I don't wear socks except in the winter, so... oh, socks.
Clue number 3.
Is the microphone shaking? You're not going to make me say something publicly that I would rather not, are you, Thomas?
That's to be found out. You'll find out in a few minutes.
All right. I might make up my own answer here that you might not be able to broadcast, but go ahead.
Clue number 3.
Yep.
Daryl Blank and John Oates.
Oh.
Correct.
Thank you.
Clue number 4. Knights Blank Columbus.
Of.
Correct. Clue number 5. 15 minutes of blank or song by Irene Cara.
Oh, Fame.
Clue number 6. Opposite of him.
Her.
Correct.
Hang on a second. I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, go ahead. Clue number 37. Here we
Clue
are.
number 7. Short form of James.
Jim.
Correct. Clue number 8. Former U.S. Secretary of State, Condoleezza.
Rice.
And your answer is?
The Red Sox Hall of Fame, Condoleezza Rice.
No. Red Sox Hall of Famer, Jim Rice.
I kind of have heard of him.
I am known as the unofficial mayor of Wallingford.
He is. That's right.
So now we have the two mayors together. I was kidding Tom, I saw your picture on the wall. And I said, I see you have Mayor Dickinson up there, but I am the unofficial mayor, so where's my picture? So that's what Tom said. He said, we have to get that picture tonight so it can go up on the wall.
All I can say is this. Now I know what mayor to blame. Things go wrong. It's that mayor.
That was a very funny clip, and I really enjoyed that bit with Jerry Christopher. As you know, I've known Jerry for over 30 years.
And it was interesting to see you with your Red Sox hat, and of course Jerry with his New York Yankee hat, so you knew there was a little bit of a rivalry there between you two.
Absolutely, and what we didn't see, unfortunately, I didn't get him in the clip, but we also had another Red Sox fan in attendance that evening, but our good friend Mike Stevens.
Yes, Mike Stevens, a fan of the Boston Red Sox, and also a fan of talking with Tom, and I know he's helped you out on a lot of different occasions. It was good to see Michael there that evening. And how nice of the mayor to come down and sit in.
that
The
was
unofficial
nice.
mayor and the official mayor.
Well, like you said, he knows who to blame now.
Yes. So, that was a good clip.
But this next clip we're going to go to, this show we did, we found a little bit information out about Mr. McCarver in this show. This was a show we did with ventriloquist Larry Noiva. So if we have that clip. Blair.
Nice to be here, guys. How you doing?
Good, good.
And let's see, we have Ed
Yep, that's me.
and Tom.
You are correct.
I am correct. And this is a good friend of mine, Aunt Edna. Hi, guys. How are you? Nice to be here. And the television audience out there. How are you, folks? I think Ed is a real handsome guy. And,
Why, thank you.
I think you need stronger glasses on it.
Never mind.
Ed, what'd you do for a living? Are you retired? You still working? What's going on?
No, I am proud to say that I'm retired.
Good for you. Good for you. What'd you do for a living? What'd you do?
I worked for the telephone company.
No kidding. How many years?
30.
30 years.
I had to think about that, yeah.
Nice, nice, nice. It's a tough job. It's a manly job. Yes, it is. And at any rate, you used to be a singer, am I correct? Yeah, I used to be a singer. And we'd like to sing a song right now, and I'd like to dedicate this to you, Ed.
Oh,
And
thank you.
to you, Tom. You too. Here we go. What's it called? It's called Together. Here we go. Wherever we go, whatever we do, We're gonna go through it together. We may not go far, but sure is a star. Wherever we are, it's together. Wherever I go, I know she goes. Wherever I go, I know he goes. No ifs, no buts, no egos. And we goes together. Through thick or through thin, whether we're out or we're in. Wherever we think it's together. We may not go far, but sure as a star. Wherever we are, it's together. Wherever I go, I know she goes. Wherever I go, I know he goes. No ifs, no buts, no egos. Only goes together. Together forever. That's us. All right. Thank you much.
good.
He is an interesting guy. His name is Sal Manella. Can you give Sal a big round of applause? She was looking for a vacation. I was the last resort. Oh boy, oh boy. Do you have any kids? Did you and Myrtle have any kids? Yeah, we had a son. What was his name? Ed. Ed? And what did he do for a living? He worked at the telephone company. Oh! Ed, is that you?
How are you?
Okay, you owe me $20.
So we found out in that show that Ed McCarver has a girlfriend,
Yes, I hope Maureen's not watching. So,
and you had a father there too, huh?
yeah, never mind. Yeah, Larry was a good guest. Very good ventriloquist. You couldn't see his lips move, and I know it was actually he was on two of our programs as I recall, and I remember he talked about some shows. He goes to the various hospitals and rest homes, things of that nature to entertain everyone. And I remember he told us a very nice story about a young man he met at one of the hospitals, and just a very, very nice man. I think we talked for like an hour after we finished taping.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
Very,
very nice man.
very
And very
great
talented
guest.
too. Yeah.
As I told him, I work with a dummy every all the time right there.
Yeah, but your lips always move.
But this next clip that we have, I know, is very near and dear to you because you do a lot of work with the standardized patient.
This was
Quinnipiac.
Dr. Aaron Bernard at Quinnipiac University. He's in charge of of course, Quinnipiac University now has a medical school, and it's in North Haven where the old Blue Cross Blue Shield building used to be in North Haven. That's now the Quinnipiac University Medical School, and also the law school, which worked over there. So they have the standardized patient program where we act as patients, and the medical students come in and interview us, and there's scripts we have to follow and things of that nature.
And I believe Dr. Bernard explains that a little bit in this
Oh, does he?
clip.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, that was a guest we had, I think it was early spring, but
So,
my friend and boss, Dr. Aaron Bernard.
so can we go to that clip? I want to start out by asking you, what is the formal definition of a standardized patient?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So if I give it a one-liner, I would say standardized patient is someone who's trained to kind of portray a person with a medical condition or in a medical situation for the purpose of student learning, or you're playing the part of a patient so that students can learn. And the term standardized, where that comes from, is one of the goals of having these patients is that if you had 100 medical students or nursing students and you wanted them all to be able to experience talking to a patient who has depression, you could send them out to all the clinics and hope that they all are able to see a patient with depression, but it's hard to standardize that. Where with our patients, we can have all the students see somebody who's using the same script, so that we know all of our students are kind of learning or having the same experience. Yeah, students are going into the room, they're interviewing a patient, they're trying to figure out what the problem is, but that's kind of called, doctor kind of centered medicine. You're asking questions to figure out the problem, but we also try to teach our students, and our focus of this is kind of patient-centered medicine, where, the students should also develop that relationship, and,
That was a very interesting show. I learned a lot about the standardized patient program that night.
Yeah, he's besides being a friend of mine and my boss, he's a very articulate speaker, a very passionate speaker about his craft. He looks like a student himself. Everybody's young compared to us, Tom, I think. But
And I told him, I said, well, you work with this stiff right here. I remember saying it to him that night.
Yes, I remember that. I was trying to forget that line, but I do remember that. And I think also Aaron said, I think we did 2 programs with Dr. Bernard, so it was it was a good program.
Now, how long have you been doing that, Ed?
I actually start year number 3 this month. So it's
Now-
3 years I've been involved.
Now, when you go, do you know what you're going to be portraying, or
Yes, what they do is that they'll send me a script, and they sent me the script yesterday. They first asked me if I was available for the days, because it's a per diem type of gig. If you're available, and they call them events, if you're available for the event, you can do it. So they sent me the script for the event, so I go in actually next week, and I work 3 days next week on that event.
wow?
And I can't say what it is because you never know who's watching. So.
Absolutely. You know, as we often say when we do the show, we always say the wonders of television, because we never know what's going to happen. And we do have rare occasions here once in a while where something will go wrong, but this next clip I have is when we did a show and our guest didn't show up. But as they say, the show must go on.
Must go on, yes.
So
yes.
this is what 2 bumbling fools do when the guest doesn't show up.
Yep, and
WPAA.
And thanks to you, I put it on my Facebook page, and one of my 32 friends or so that I have will be able to see that if they go onto my
You have
Facebook page.
32 friends? Isn't that 31 too much?
Yes,
And of course, you're one of his subjects.
yes, I am. I'm one of his senior
Or
subjects.
as I called you that night, one of his stiffs.
Yes, getting stiffer by the moment here.
I just recently made the ultimate sacrifice
Yes.
for Mr. McCarver.
What?
I cannot believe that I'm doing this. I made the ultimate sacrifice for you, Mr. McCarver. Here you go.
And what is? Oh, well, what is this? Oh, it's not my birthday. Let me see what this is here. We will. Oh, I see something. Oh, it is, and I don't know if this will read well, but maybe it will, but this is officially licensed New York Jet playing cards.
Just in the season.
Yeah, that'll be fine. Well, I like that, and Peter's getting a very nice shot of, I like that.
And even got your plug in there for the New York Jets.
Yes. Although a disastrous end to the Jets season this year, but I do remember that show, and I don't remember who the guest was. We probably really shouldn't say who the guest was, but
I did find out they did have a family emergency that
Oh,
evening.
okay.
That's why they
Okay.
did not show up.
But sometimes the best shows we do are the ones that are completely unplanned. And I remember we were bantering around. I think one of the big stories we talked about was the noise problem at Oakdale Theater.
Oakdale Theater,
You know,
yeah.
we spent a lot of time talking about that, and we may have even gotten a phone call on it. But it's funny. It's like you say. It's live television. We're scheduled to go on the air. I think it was 7 o'clock. We were scheduled to go on, and we're frantically looking as the minutes tick towards 7. The guest to come through the door. All of a sudden, guest doesn't show up. The camera goes on, and here we are for an hour. But seasoned pros that we are, Tom.
Like they say, the show must go on.
Yeah. It actually was a fun show. But thank you for the deck of cards. I'm sure that it's interesting that Rex Ryan was the Joker, I think, in that deck. I'm not sure.
Well, it's funny because, as you said, it was a very disappointing weekend for you this weekend.
Well, this past week, with the Jets not making the playoffs, and I was, psyched up all week. We had beaten the Patriots, and all the Jets had to do was beat the lowly Buffalo Bills.
Which
And,
I really thought you guys were going to.
I did too. I mean, I was brimming with confidence. I posted a little silly video on Facebook about how we would crush the Buffalo Bills, And I'll tell you, that night I had crow for dinner, but I was very disappointed.
I'm sure Maureen must have given you the business.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, like I said every year since Namath, remember, Jet fans, just wait till next year. We'll get them.
That's what I usually say every year with the Red Sox.
Yeah. So.
But, of course, I got a nice present this weekend.
Yeah, you're a Miami Dolphin fan, and you not only defeated the New England Patriots, which will look good on your personal resume, but Tom Brady got hurt, right? He hurt his ankle or
Yep.
something. So
I got to be honest with you. I really expected us to get beat this weekend.
so did I know everybody in Vegas did. So
But
I expected it. I didn't even watch the game. I was watching the Jets, and then during the breaks, I was switching to the Giant game. All the local teams started at 1:00. But I was switching to the Giants, and of course, as we tape this, Tom Coughlin did announce his retirement as head coach of the New York Giants. So we'll see what happens to Big Blue.
I want to see what's going to happen with Miami next year.
Yeah, there's some
If they're
there's
gonna
some talk.
clean house.
Yeah, I even heard on some of the Francesa and WFAN saying that Coughlin did not rule out coaching again. And Miami might be a good fit for him. You never know. Warm environment.
But I do have to let the viewers know, in case they didn't see it, Mr. McCarver was recently on Channel 30 News from Bradley Airport.
You did see that. So.
And I did notice how you managed to get a plug in there for the New England Patriots and your beloved Jets. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes, I did. Let me give you the Reader's Digest version here. My sister was flying up from Florida, and the plan was that Southwest Airlines was supposed to go to from Fort Myers, Florida, straight shot to Bradley. They couldn't land at Bradley because they were scheduled to refuel at Bradley. So they couldn't get fuel. There was some problem with the fuel delivery or something. So that flight, along with 17 or 18 other flights, were scheduled to go to Providence, land in Providence, fuel up, and then go to Bradley. So that's what Channel 30 News was there for. So first of all, and in the interest of full disclosure, I saw a camera there, and I was trying to get on camera. I was walking around for about a half hour before he had his story. And then he did mention that I said, what's going on? Is there a delay? And he mentioned about the fuel problem. And he said, why? Do you have an interest in this? Are you waiting for somebody? I says, yeah, my sister and her husband are coming up on this plane. And he said, well, would you like to be interviewed? And of course I said, would I? I would love it. So, and the rest is history. And I made a goofy little blurb on it, went on Facebook again. And yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yes, and I saw that video and I actually reposted it.
Oh, did you? And I did say to what you were saying. I says, here we are. We're in the middle of New England Patriot country, but tonight everybody's interested in the Jets. Well, got a cheap laugh.
Little shameless plug for your
Yes,
beloved
exactly,
Jets.
exactly.
But one thing the viewers may not know is Ed is also involved in theater.
I did a play. I did Happy Days over the summer with Mary Ellen Eccles in the Wallingford Community Theater.
And we did a show with Mary Ellen Eccles and some of your cast members. And if we can we go to that clip now? I understand that Mr. McCarver had
Yes.
the part in the show.
He's wonderful.
The check is in the mail, thank you.
Yeah. We, one of our actors, Mike Trzynski, who's the son of a very longtime dear friend of mine, we were looking for an Arnold, and he's playing the part of Howard Cunningham. And he said, gee, I have this friend, Ed McCarver, who I think we could get to play the part of Arnold. And I said, Ed McCarver, Goober. Goober and I go way back.
Oh, yes, we do.
To
Yes,
high
we do.
school. And you are so fun to work with. You're a very generous person and bring a wonderful energy.
I think that was the most fun I ever had. I had never done a play before, not counting, in elementary school. But when I heard through my friend Mike Trzynski, who was also in the play, played Howard Cunningham, told me, he said, do you do any acting? And I said, well, I'm a standardized patient at Quinnipiac. And he said, would you like to be Arnold in Happy Days? And he said it was, Mary Ellen Eccles, who I've known for years. I love Mary Ellen Eccles. And I went to the first audition, the first reading for the play, fell in love with it, had so much fun. So it was a blast.
And of course, Mary Ellen Eccles, we've had her on previously.
Yes.
We had her on years ago when she was doing the Sound of Music.
Yep. She's a trooper. She has a tough job because I think there were 100 children and I think like 50 adults in Happy Days, and she controlled everything. She's better than Tom Coughlin was with the Giants. She knows how to control.
All I have to say is I remember that night vividly because we had some technical difficulties that evening. And remember, it was so hot in the studio that night.
Yep. It was a summer play. It was very hot. We were at our old location, and that was a tough night. But as I say, Mary Ellen, and also let's give a plug to Jason Burkhart, who also helped out in the studio.
Oh no, I'm
too.
talking about your Happy Day, the show we did for Happy Days that night.
Oh, here.
Yes.
Oh,
here.
yes. It was stifling.
We had some technical difficulties, and I can remember. I think we were here for well over 3 hours, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
right?
it was. As a matter of fact, we had to go to rehearsal
Yeah.
right after for the play that night, and we did have some technical difficulties, but we theater people know how to adapt, and it turned out to be a good show. And Mary Ellen and the young man sitting next to her, Joe. Oh, God.
That was Potsy Weber, right?
Potsy Weber. Yep, nice young man who I'm forgetting his last name now, but a good kid and a good actor, Potsy.
I'm still waiting to see that, by the way.
Yes, well, you'll get your copy for $24.95 as soon as I get it to you here. So.
And Ed, occasionally I do some shows out of the studio that you just saw earlier. We had the anniversary show that we did at American Steamed Cheeseburgers.
Mm-hmm.
This is another show that I did down at American Steamed Cheeseburgers. This was for my birthday in September. So we just have a little bit of a clip from my birthday show. So can we go to that? By the way, you still owe me a mug.
Well, it's better than this mug, I'll tell you.
Always a pleasure, Tom.
Anytime, guys. Always a pleasure.
A very small clip.
Yeah,
So, yes.
I wanted to get that in there because I want to clarify that I was joking around with Mr. Zimmerman because Tom had given the gentleman from the Squared Circle coffee mugs.
Oh, okay.
And because of my transportation issue, I am not able to get down to the Squared Circle anymore. So that's what I was saying to John during the clip. I said, you owe me a mug.
Yeah, that was a good clip, and that was for your birthday in September. Another good night at American Steamed. Very nice establishment, and good guy, Tom. So his son is a huge Jets fan too. So it's nice to
I'm
go down
sorry.
there.
I just realized that I messed up. I skipped over a clip.
Skipped over, but are we good for that clip? Yep. According to our
My bad.
crack staff in the back, Tom, we will be able to have
This
that
next clip features the owner of a local business in town by the name of One Fine Design.
Okay.
And so, can we go to that clip?
Good to be back here in studio in August as the summer flies by, and
Sweltering day today.
yes, and I'm thinking August. Here it is, the third week in August, and I think the Dolphins are already 0-2, aren't they, for the football season? So,
Unlike your New York Jets,
the Jets are probably undefeated.
just in the season.
Not this year. Of course, their motto at Custom and Design is a lot like my marriage: restore, recycle, and redesign. I think it is. But it's a pleasure to welcome
Thank you.
Patty Muller.
Welcome, Patty.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
I'd like to start out by asking you, why should folks look at restorations? What are the benefits to the earth, pocketbook, and sense of place? Can you go through these?
Sure.
Where would you
Well,
like to start?
Pocketbook It may cost you a little bit more to restore a nice antique, but you are getting a solid piece of wood versus something that is quick and simple, easy to get, which is probably made with presswood. Something that will last for a little bit, maybe cheaper, but is definitely not going to be good long haul, like something that you can pass down to your kids, So a lot of people look into restoring things as, oh my God, it's going to cost me a lot of money, but you have to think of the overall picture of it all, that it's going to be there for generations to
Looks a little tattered and worn instead of throwing
Right.
it out and get a new one. Will they come and try and
Yes, a
restore it?
lot of people come and say, what can you do to help me fix this? And I said, we can take it, relove it, fix it, make it look beautiful, change the appearance, because
Could you possibly restore Mr. McCarver here?
that I will leave up to his wife Maureen. I have my own restoration at home to work with for the last 31 years.
So that was Patty talking about restoration, and as you heard, there's no hope for you, Ed.
Yeah, I know. I've heard that before too. I remember her, and I remember her as being very nervous before the show started. She had never done an interview show
Yeah.
like this, and I'll tell you, she was a trooper.
Yeah, she
was.
was.
Once you got into it,
we get that an awful lot with guests that have never been on TV before. They come in, they say they're nervous, and by the end of the half hour or hour, it's like they're an old pro.
Yeah, and couldn't be because of us. Is it? So, but I remember Patty because she was, she was nervous, but then once it got rolling, she was tremendous.
Yep, and as you know, for the last 9 years, going on 10 now, I do an annual fundraiser called Tommy Palooza. And last year I partnered with Lisa Catherine and Tina Taylor,
Yep.
and it is a permanent partnership now. And this clip we have now is from this past year, talking about our 9th annual Tommy Palooza, which I just did for Shriners Hospital. My annual Tommy Palooza.
Yep, an event that you've done. How did you get the idea to do a Tommy Palooza event, and what led to the first one those 8 or 9 years ago?
As you know, the very first one I came up with after having met a mother and daughter by the name of Margaret Burke and Rita Duran, who suffered from Arnold-Chiari syndrome, and they could not get the necessary surgery they needed. We had them on our show, and I said that something had to be done, and that's when I came up with the idea for having the Tommy Palooza. And at that time, I think I raised just about $1,000 for him. But this year's event is very near and dear to my heart. It is for Shriners Hospital in Springfield, Mass. So I'm looking forward to giving back to them.
Yep, and Shriners, I know we've documented what the Shriners has meant to you, what the Shriners has done for
17
you.
years total I spent with the hospital, both as an inpatient and outpatient.
Tell us a little bit about Concerts with Causes, how it began, and how the organization has been going so far.
Well, Concerts with Causes began officially August 2011. We are a 501c3 nonprofit music event organization. We do music events to raise awareness and funds for local individuals and programs that need help. So we've been very busy the last 4 years. It was really beginning, it kind of created itself, and people came into place to help create it. The attorney that helped with the 501c3, and our first event was up in Hartford. All those people just kind of came. And it's interesting when things are meant to be, how things just happen. Things fall into place easily. The last 4 years, I crunched the numbers the end of the winter, early spring, when the girls went down to Nashville to work with our Stephen Cochran. And at that time, it was a little bit over $55,000 that we've raised in the last 4 years. A little bit more than that, because we did do a
Wow.
couple more events over the summer.
And I remember that first event in
there.
Hartford
We were
because
there.
we were
You
there.
guys were there.
Who was the band in the lobby? Those youngsters.
Gray
that-
Negative.
Gray
that was
Negative.
Gray Negative.
You know they're all off to college now. They were in junior high
Really?
school. Yep, they were just finished 8th grade at Dot.
They were in junior high school, and they did a version of Purple Haze by Jimi Hendrix. And to see a bunch of junior high school kids do Jimi Hendrix, and they nailed it.
Yeah.
They were
Oh,
they were
yeah.
awesome. Tease Promotional Entertainment. Can you tell us a little bit about how that company began?
I used to do volunteer work out of my house, and I have 5 children, and my husband passed away, so I was like, what other way am I going to help people? And someone gave me
I
the
think one of the
opportunity.
bands is auditioning for the concert now.
I
So
was brought up an opportunity to, help an artist out. And I'm very big on especially like indie artists because it's not like national acts because, all these national acts actually pay out a lot of money to be heard and stuff. So I'm a big supporter of all indie artists and stuff like that. So I started helping this one artist and just rolled into another, So it's great. And I teamed up with Lisa now and I'm helping her with, Concert with Causes too. And it's great because we kind of like go together because we both work with music,
There you see
Catherine, yep.
Lisa Catherine and Tina Taylor. And I got to tell you, it's really been a great pleasure for me to partner with these two young ladies. I mean, some of the artists that I've had this year at Tommy Palooza, fantastic.
yeah, Concerts with Causes with Lisa Catherine and Tina Taylor with Tease Promotional Entertainment. Very, very successful organization. And you talk about them bringing talent. I had an opportunity, thanks to WPAA over the summer, to interview Stephen Cochran, who came in here, who was just an awesome guest. And I think one of my, I've got a few favorite interviews in my life, but that is right up there because he was just awesome.
And that was another example that night of being a trooper, because if I remember that night, didn't he have to restring his guitar?
Yeah, he in the middle of his first song, his guitar string broke, so he tried to finish it without it, but couldn't do it. So we stopped and we got talking, and of course, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, we've got 51, 52 minutes to fill here, and I did have questions, but I wasn't sure if we'd be able to fill the time because we wanted to have a couple of songs interspaced with the questions, but he was, as you say, he was a trooper, and he had a story to tell, a very passionate story to tell, and actually, I know we ran that on July 4th weekend, so he was a good guest, and I have to say, the staff here, again, the crack staff that doesn't get on air, they actually went out and tried to repair the guitar, and did
I
a
remember
halfway
that.
decent job.
I was actually in the studio watching that evening, and I do remember them coming out
Yep. They
to make the assist.
Yep. They got an A for effort. It wasn't quite up to what Mr. Cochran would like, but he tried. But he says, hey, these people tried, so that was good. Yeah. But that was, and the reason Cochran was here was because of people like Lisa Catherine and Tina Taylor. So
Absolutely. And
you partnered well, young man.
And I am already in the planning stages for next year's Tommy Palooza, which will be the 10th annual Tommy Palooza. And I'm going to do it for Alzheimer's next year.
Nice, very good.
So keep an eye out for that.
Yep, we will.
But before we go to the next clip, I just want to comment. We have a new background this evening.
Yeah, it looks very nice, very stylish.
I want to thank Michelle in the back for the fine job she did on the background. Awesome
All right,
job.
Michelle, so
Awesome job.
very nice. It's funny, it still looks green from here, but no, I'm not kidding.
I was gonna say your face looks a little green.
New York Jet green.
Did you ever get your new heart from the Wizard yet?
No comment.
I should explain that after Ed's Jets lost the other day, he posted on Facebook that his heart was broken. So I commented, being the comedian that I am, said maybe the Wizard of Oz will give you a new one.
Yeah. The Wizard give me a new team. Someone asked me, he said, why don't you become a Patriots fan? The seasons last longer, and you'll be more fulfilled. And I said, I'll die first. I don't want to be a Patriot fan.
But,
Not so much that I dislike the Patriots, but I love the Jets.
Although Tom Brady did make a appearance in Ted 2. Have you seen that yet?
I saw Ted 2, as I digress. Ted 2 was better than Ted 1.
I have it now.
I love Ted 2.
I have it now at home. I did get it. So-
Yeah, Tom Brady was awesome. Give him credit. Although, you know, the best thing about that, God, and if we have time, the best thing about Ted 2, I thought, was that song, Mean Old Moon.
Yeah.
That's a great song.
Yep.
No, but yeah, Ted 2 is awesome, and Tom Brady was great through a perfect spiral. So that's our movie review for 2016. Ted 2.
But as you know, Ed, I am a resident of the Wallingford Housing Authority.
Mm-hmm.
And this past year, the Wallingford Housing Authority has gone through a lot of transition. And it was my pleasure to have on the show as a guest the new executive director, Kelly McDermott. And I have to tell you, before we go to this clip, Kelly was very nervous, like we said before with other guests, about doing the show.
Like Patty was from One Fine Design.
When I approached her, she was a little leery because she was nervous. She wasn't really ever on TV before, and I kept saying to her, "Oh, come on, you're a natural. You'll be fine." And I have to tell you, since the show aired and it's been online, I've got nothing but positive feedback. And even the commissioners commented. They all told her she was fantastic, really represented the housing authority very well. So I'm joking with her. I told her I think she has a career in television.
She'll probably replace us.
Probably. So
I can see Kelly and Michelle will come replace us. We're gone.
So if we have that clip, can we go to the clip of Kelly McDermott from the Wallingford Housing Authority? As you know, I am a resident of the Wallingford Housing Authority, and our guest this evening gives me a great pleasure to officially welcome to Talking with Tom,
We have two.
the Executive Director of the Wallingford Housing Authority, Kelly McDermott.
Hi, Tom.
Welcome, Kelly.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Welcome, Kelly.
Nice to meet you, Ed. I spent a good portion of my career for the city of Bridgeport. Right out of college, I took a job in their grants department and ended up all the way through their community development division as their department head down there for a while. Because the city is so large, we had access to a variety of federal resources to support municipal activities across all different types of functions, whether it supported the Board of Education, our Department of Public Health, our engineering staff, the public library. And when you're pursuing competitive federal dollars across various departments in an organization that large, we had a central grants department. And I was a team member there and coordinated the access to those applications and the submission of those funding.
We had so much fun the last time, we had to bring our guest back for some more.
Oh, boy.
Please help me welcome once again Executive Director of the Wallingford Housing Authority, Kelly McDermott.
Tom?
Welcome back, Kelly. On this program, I'd like to talk a little bit about the residents' perspective
Okay, great.
and some of the services for the residents and things along that line.
Absolutely.
Now, one of the things that you've been doing, you're very, very visible to the residents since you've been here, and I know that you have brown bag lunches.
Yeah. So when I first started, I really wanted to have the opportunity for all of the residents to get to know me and who I am and sort of the direction that I wanted to set and the tone I wanted to set for my time here with the Wallingford Housing Authority. And I thought the best way to do that was to schedule monthly brown bag lunches at every site, including our family site, where I would come with my lunch, and I invited the residents to have their lunch with me at every community room. And it's been very informative. You know, you don't just sit and talk about what's going on at the properties. You get to know each other, and you get to know the likes and the interests of our residents, and you know, just the communities that exist at every site. The best way to actually talk about your message or the initiatives that you're trying to promote is to actually get out there and meet people. And actually, Tom, I brought a picture of you from the Halloween costume party today. You can see Tom down
Look
in
at
the
that
corner
scary
there.
Yeah, we're on the lower right, so.
Look at that scary costume.
And it
Hideous.
and this is only some of the group. It was really hard to kind of squeeze everybody into this corner, but we had about 30 residents come out to our reintroduction of a costume party.
I see
And
Jack Sparrow's looking well there. I see
yeah,
that.
and we had a few great witch hats, and it was a very good time. We did some. So Tom showed up to celebrate Wallingford, and
Oh.
this is us. You can't really see our equipment, but our table is behind us. This is me and Jonna Pompiano, who is our property manager.
That was Kelly McDermott once again from the Wallingford Housing Authority.
She was an awesome guest, I thought. She's probably one of my, well, they're all my favorites, I guess, but I thought, I love the passion she showed for her job.
She
And
definitely has the passion, I'll tell you that
she
right
has
now.
as much passion as Lisa does for Concerts with Causes, or Tina Taylor does for Tees Promotional Entertainment, or Mary Ellen Eccles for the Wallingford Community Theater. You could tell this young lady, Kelly McDermott, has a passion for what she does.
Absolutely.
And she was a great guest, and I think I fell in love with her that night. I thought she was just
And
awesome.
we found out you actually know her brother. Was it her brother you know?
Actually, I think it was her uncle. I actually, Wayne, I think I
Yeah.
actually played football with her uncle, so many years ago. So, but yeah, the name McDermott is, yeah, we got talking after the show, and yeah, I do know a small part of her family tree.
And it's funny because she actually came to my home to pick up the DVD of the show. And when she picked it up, she says to me, she goes, "How did it look?" She goes, "I'm afraid to watch myself." And I reassured her again. I said, "You were fantastic." And I told her how many views it already got on YouTube. And, you know, and like I said, the other commissioners told her, too, what a great job she did.
Now, does that make her feel better?
I think so.
If we did ask her back in this year, 2016, do you think she'd come on again?
I think so.
Good.
I think so, and I think that might be something to look forward to. This way we can kind of get an update on where the housing authority is
Yep.
going.
What's going on? What events they want to talk about? Maybe want to publicize. And she's, as I say, she's just an awesome
I am
spokesperson.
actually going to be in a meeting with her this coming Thursday
Oh, okay.
as part
Okay.
of the revitalization coming up for the Wallingford Housing Authority.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, she was a good guest, Kelly McDermott.
So this next clip we have was from our annual holiday special featuring the U.S. Marines, Toys for Tots, and of course, that jolly old man from the North Pole, Santa Claus.
History on this, now in its 68th year, was actually founded in 1947 in Los Angeles, California, by reservist Bill Hendricks. Now, he was inspired by his wife Diane when she tried to donate a homemade Raggedy Ann doll to a needy child, but could not find an organization to do so. At her suggestion, Hendricks gathered a group of local Marine reservists who coordinated and collected some 5,000 toys for local children. This was back in 1947. And now in its 68th year, Toys for Tots has distributed over 469 million toys to over 216 million children. So we appreciate the work that the Marine Corps
organization.
does. Yep, and it's and we appreciate being part of it.
Welcome, Santa.
Thank you. Glad to be here again.
I'd like to start out by asking you, what are you doing in the case where a house doesn't have a chimney?
Well, I've got a skeleton key. I can get into every house that I need to. No problem. I can bypass any security system. It's divine intervention in most
So then the children don't have to worry then if
No,
they don't have
not
a
at all.
chimney.
Not at all.
Yeah, because I think there are a lot of kids that worries. You know, not too many children have or adults have chimneys in their house. And
Right. I don't want to burn to death either, so I like to go through the front door. That's really what I
Yes.
really like to do mostly. Yeah.
so that will not leave any lingering doubt in.
Correct. I will be there no matter what.
And I'm sure Santa is enjoying a well-deserved R&R now that Christmas is about 2 weeks behind us.
I think he said on that show, wasn't he heading down south?
I believe he was. I do remember his last line was, he wanted you to validate his parking while he was here at the studio. So.
I think you even got dissed that night a few times by Santa, didn't you?
Yeah, I got dissed more than once by Santa. I'm surprised I didn't get a lump of coal in my stocking.
I didn't either.
But so maybe he was just kidding. But Santa was good. And, of course, the Marine Corps Toys for Tots, we talked about it in the piece. They've been around since 1947 and have done such a good job. And one of the young men, I think Rick, I see him in the spot that WTNH does now.
I saw that too, yes.
I saw him, and I says, that's the young man that was with us. So
I did the same thing.
Yep.
And a matter of fact, about a week or so later, I went up to Jim Fitzsimmons and Holly LaFawn.
Oh, yes, their annual party.
Toys for Tots
yeah.
at Tavern on Main. And I ran into, I can't remember his name now, but I spoke to him on the phone, the gentleman that was in charge of the
Caesar?
Toys for Tots.
Yeah, Ramon, I'm trying to...
I can't remember.
You know what, I can see it now, but I
But
just
he
can't think
came
of it.
up and he introduced himself to me, and he said how the Marines had such a wonderful time on the show that evening. They were
good.
They were all
Good.
talking about it when they went back. And he did say that he was going to make sure that I was in the rotation for next year.
Nice. Nice.
So hopefully we'll have the Marines back here next year.
Very good. Because even though it's only January, Christmas will be here before you know it. 2016.
Hey, look how fast 2015 went by.
Hey, how about the call we got that night too? Kayla Drescher.
Yes.
Gave us a call that night.
That was a nice surprise.
Yeah. That was nice. Of course, Kayla, a magician, living probably not too far from Eric Schrader on the
Everybody's
West Coast.
going out west. What is it?
Yes, I know.
What is it?
Everybody's moving out of Connecticut. I saw that in the
They're
news,
getting
too.
away from us?
So, yeah.
I did see that today, by the way, though. That a lot of people are moving out of Connecticut.
Everybody's...
What's it, number 5 on... Was it number 5 on the list?
I believe it was, yep.
Mm.
Yep. But, yeah, they're hitting the exits, but not because of us, I don't think.
I hope not. Usually they ask us to leave.
Yeah, true. But that was a good show. The Toys for Tots, and Santa was just, as we knew he would be. He was just great.
Yep. And we, believe it or not, we have one final clip. This final clip, you mentioned earlier, the holiday stroll.
Yes, downtown Wallingford. Yep.
And for the last 2 years, I've been doing a show down at American Steam for the holiday stroll. And in this clip, you're going to see a young lady who was actually a performer at Tommy Palooza this year by the name of Jas Lenny. So, can we go to that clip? Talking with Tom, I'm Tom Dacey for a special episode this evening. We are here at American Steam Cheeseburgers for the 7th annual holiday stroll, shop, and win. And I have a very special guest at this time. Please help me welcome Jas Lenny.
Hi.
Welcome, Jas Lenny.
Thank you for having me.
You're going to be our musical entertainment this evening.
Yes, I plan to sing a few songs for you guys, which is very exciting for me. So I'm going to sing More Than Myself, which is I actually played this for you at the fundraiser. So here it goes. I have broken your heart too many times while you have opened mine. Every time you try to walk
very fine young performer, Jack Lenny.
Yeah, and I remember her from Tommy Palooza now too. And she was good.
And what you couldn't hear in that clip was me being a comedian in the background when she was singing "I Love You." I was in the background going, "Thank you."
Oh, really? Oh. Yeah, I'm sorry I missed that. I'm sorry the audio didn't pick that up here. So, and that was, you talk about it being a warm December, the night of the holiday stroll. I think it was like 50 degrees outside, and it was the streets of Wallingford. Actually, it was like the streets of Las Vegas. There were people all over the place, but it was just an awesome night, and she helped add to the awesomeness of it. So. That was good.
In the few moments that we have left, I just want to take a moment and thank our crew in the back. Thanks again to Tom and Michelle. Thank you, guys. And I just want to remind our audience that our next show, our guest will be somebody who is not a stranger to WPAA. Many people will remember him from a wrestling show called The Top Rope. And that is none other than Mike Kanata, a.k.a. Mr. Trivia. He will be joining us. He is now doing an internet show called The Top Rope Report.
I had a chance to listen to it a couple of times. I know sometimes it's some crazy. I know he was on once during a Jet game, I remember, Sunday afternoon, so I missed that. But I've heard a couple of his shows, and he's very good. He's now he is not uncomfortable with a microphone.
No.
He will not be nervous before.
Absolutely not.
Sometimes he might be a little bit over the top, because I know he says he's very funny, but sometimes he says some outrageous things, and I look forward to it. He's funny.
So keep an eye out for that, and then we will also be doing our annual Super Bowl Sunday show, so we'll have that for you as well. But Ed, again, a pleasure.
As Howie Rose says, another year in the books.
And we want to thank everybody once again. Good night, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Just talking with Tom. Just talking with Tom. Turn your dial to cable 18. You will see the best in TV. Just talking with Tom. Just talking with Tom. Sit back and listen. You will hear the best conversation of the year. Just talking with Tom. Just talking with Tom. Just talking with Tom. Just talking with Tom.